Okay, Fabu.
Well, thank you. Hello, everyone. Welcome for the second appointment of this FIBA Africa mini basketball online course. Before introducing our guest speaker, I just remind you again that at the end of this presentation, you can of course ask your questions, or by raising your hand so we can give you the microphone, or by writing your message or your question. Today, our guest speaker is Coach Noor Amri. He's a FIBA instructor, he's a FIBA expert, he's also a mini basketball expert. He is a member committee of the WABC, the World Association of Basketball Coaches. He is also the technical director of the American Federation of Basketball, and we have a pleasure to get him today for this presentation. Coach Amri, it's you.
Thank you, mate. Thank you, Coach. Welcome to everyone, to all participants. As Coach was said, today we're going to continue talking about mini basketball, and you will have the option to ask you questions at the end of the conference. Please, may I just remind you to keep your microphone and video off until the end of the conference, just to improve the quality of this webinar. Today we're going to be talking about the mini basketball coach profile, and sharing some, let's say, some aspect of the mini basketball coach. So yesterday, I think already Mr. Gowas, Coach Gowas already mentioned that mini basket is really a specific game, and it has its own philosophy. And today we're going to try to go more in details about what we said yesterday. So as introduction, just from the beginning, what I want to make clear is that there is some clear differences between basketball and mini basketball. If in basketball we talk about players, in mini basketball it's a child, it's a kid. In basketball we tend to talk about team game, but in mini basketball it's really individual pleasure. Kids just want to have fun and play for himself. And in basketball we could find some championship, but in mini basketball it's just games, all right, just matches and games. There's no championship. There's an exception of the category under 12, U12. We can maybe most probably talk about it a bit later. So let me also share with you a very interesting fact about mini basketball. So if we look at the players of the French national teams, women and men, 95% went through mini basketball. And if we compare it also to one of the top world country in basketball, France, I think, is the number 3, and number 2 is Spain. And Spain, 91% of the national team player, women and men, went through mini basketball and start actually playing basketball, doing mini basket. So that is a very interesting fact. But please, no quick conclusion. We have to be very cautious, so and don't be wrong about our vision and the goal of mini basketball. That is very, very, very important. The child isn't there to help the development of basketball. Okay? Basketball is here to help the development of the kid. Because if we just say, okay, 95% of French national player went to mini basketball, then let's all just do mini basketball, so we're going to develop basketball. No. Kid first. Basketball is to help the development of the kid. And that's already the beginning of the philosophy of mini basket. So mini basket must be played for children and not with the kid. For the kids, but not with the kid. This is very, very important. So let's talk about the 4 areas of the kids universe. There is no sport competition in the kids universe. So where then is basketball located? Let's see that. One of the first areas of the kids universe is school, obviously. The second one may be family. The third one may be hobbies and leisure, you know. And the third one is the dreams. Although even if the picture is Stephen Curry, but when we talk about dreams at very young age, most of the kids will dream about Messi and not Stephen Curry. But anyway, let's stay on Steph Curry. So these are the four areas: family, hobbies, dreams, and school. Where is basketball? Oh, maybe basketball could fit in hobbies and leisure, or can fit in dreams. So let's keep on trying to define some very important statements. Kids have the right to play sport for fun and to play like a kid. Mini basketball brings four main things to the kid. First of all, say leisure. It's a tool for building kids' personality. It also will help kids' development, but it's not a purpose itself, and we don't have a competition objective or goals. Very important. No competition goals. We're going to talk later more in detail on that. And mini basketball is not the purpose itself for kids. It's just a tool to help the kid develop so many different aspects we're going to be defining a bit later. What does it mean then to be a mini basket coach? Coaching, sport in general is a place to socialize, to discover new things, to get some new knowledge. It's well-being, it's still sport. And the coach is here to help the kids get all that aspect we just talked about. The coach is a helper. He will facilitate everything to the kids in order to grow and develop maturity and so forth. So the coach is a teacher who's going to work with kids, boys and girls, and these kids are in a full phase of growth, development, and maturity. Through basketball, these kids are looking for just a way to play. They want to have fun and make friends. They want to feel good playing. So the coach needs to facilitate all this. Obviously, this is the main role of the mini basket coach, is to help them achieve these goals. Coaching mini basketball is a specialty. Do you know 3 different ages of the children growth? Do we know the different phases of kids development? Do we know the different phases of kids maturity? Do we know the appropriate pedagogy for kids at this age? Do we know the specific teaching and training methodology for the kids of this age? So by asking this question, frankly, don't you think we still have a lot to learn as a mini basket coach? I believe yes. Even myself, I'm keeping learning new things almost in a weekly basis about mini basketball. Now I am lately trying to learn more about biobanding. It's completely new. It came from rugby and soccer. Biobanding, it's how we're gonna deal with young kids playing sport, but not with age category. We're gonna split them with their maturity, with their physical body different. So biobanding, it's a new thing. And actually now I'm studying it. I'm trying to learn this and see how this can fit in basketball. So there is always something to learn, and we are never really an expert in mini basket. There's so many things to discover. So The kids have the right to be coached by competent people with the right teaching strategy and pedagogy. They have the right. They have the right to be coached by a specialist. A mini basket coach as a specialist, because it is specialty. The mini basket coach is also a booster and stimulator of basketball, because yes, we are here to educate kids. We are here to teach them, have them play, have them have fun, have them make new friends, maybe learn some skills, locomotor skills, basketball, mini basket skills. But also don't forget that the coach of mini basketball is also responsible of increasing the number of participants. It is one of the role of the mini basketball coach, is to increase the number of participants in mini basketball. All right, so that's why he's a booster and stimulator of basketball. He plays a very important role in the development of basketball. So the coach is very important. The mini basket coach is important for the basketball development, not the kid, the coach. The coach is, after all, an educator. He does not only train future players, he prepares future basketball citizens. Because he does not train only future players, like we just said. He trains maybe future referees. Not everyone going to be, a professional player. Not everyone going to be even a senior player. If he's not a professional, maybe he can be not in a professional team, but playing at high level. We can have maybe future referees. He can be training some young people that in the future can be future coaches, or future leaders, or future fans and spectators, future sponsors. A kid maybe could be later on successful in his life and then have a lot of companies who can sponsor basketball. It's a huge responsibility that's falling in the hand of the mini basketball coach. John Wooden, the very famous college basketball coach in the United States, said, a good coach can change a game, but a great coach can change a life. It is very important, and that what really state the huge responsibility of the mini basketball coach. A coach will positively impact more lives in 1 year than most people in their life. Also, saying this is only to make you feel the huge responsibility of the mini basket coach. Some aspect of the mini basketball coach go deep in detail now. He needs to be a role model for the players. Behavior, but also attitude. But this is not only specific to mini basket coach, but it's also for every coach. But more crucial for kids at the age of mini basketball, because at this age, kids naturally tend to imitate adults. So by being a role model in his behavior and his attitude, the coach is also educating these kids. The coach needs to know how to adapt his communication with players so that everyone understands what he wants to say. We don't communicate with kids like we communicate with adults. It's a different way, different approach, different method. So the mini basket coach needs to adapt his communication. And obviously communication, as you know, it's both sides. It's not what you say, but what the other one understands. So, I'm not going to debate and talk about communication but just know that he needs to adapt his communication. Enthusiasm has to be one of the main virtues of the mini basket coach, to be able to transmit this enthusiasm to the players. The coach needs to bring this joy, this happiness, this enthusiasm in practicing in games. Otherwise, kids won't have it. Obviously, the mini basket coach needs to know what to teach and what's goal to achieve. We're going to go a bit on details on that a bit later. He needs to be curious and ambitious about his learning and personal training there is still a lot to discover. As I just said before, there's a lot to discover in mini basket. So if he's curious and trying to update his knowledge, if it's not day by day, week by week, or month by month, but stay having this ambition to grow as a mini basket coach is very important. We talk about some important aspect of the mini basket coach. Let's now see the important aspect about the players. The mini basket coach obviously must coach all players, taking into account their differences. And there are a lot of differences, especially at very young age. You know, a team is made up of players who are different. They are different to one another. Difference in ages, different in size, in gender, in weight, but also differences in abilities and skills, difference in basketball experiences. I mean, in mini basketball, you may have the kids who's under 10, U10, having already 3 years of basketball, or sorry, 2 years of mini basket. And another teammate who just starting at 9 years or 10 years old. So he has only 1 year or a couple of months of basketball experience. So obviously there is a difference. They're in the same category, but one already have 3 years of mini basket and one is just beginner, just starting a couple of months. So there is a difference. Also difference in personal interest. Some kids are coming to have fun. Some kids are coming because their parent put them there, so you babysit them, or some parent put them there because they want to lose weight. Some are really passionate about basketball because maybe their parent already played basketball, or the brother or the sister play basketball, so they want to come and learn basketball as well. So different interests. And you as a coach, you must coach everyone and take into account their differences. And here is when the main job of the mini basketball coach is knowing how to differentiate his practices when you want to coach everyone. So let's see another, a psychological characteristic of the mini basketball player. Before 10 years old, the kid is playing because he wants to have fun and he's having fun. He's just looking for personal recognition. Starting from 11 years old, more or less, the kids play so their effort is valued. They're looking for social recognition. They want you as a coach, or maybe their teammate, their friends, or their parents to recognize that he's already have some skills and he knows how to do something. So they're looking for social recognition. How many times did you have a very young player come to you and say, Coach, look what I can do now? You know, they're already starting, looking at for this social recognition. And many at the beginning, when they're very young, just give them the ball and they just play. They dribble, they shoot, they run. They wouldn't even never come ask you, look what I can do, because they are always, they are still in the personal recognition phase. So knowing those psychological characteristics, the coach must align his job, the psychological characteristics to the learning sequences. What do I mean by learning sequences? Generally we said that there is 3 more or less phases. It's phase number 1 is the kid and his body. The kid is discovering his body. And then when he knows his body, then it's the kid and the ball. There's a new element added to that. And later on is the kid, the ball, and his teammate. So these 3 phases, there's a sequence. And the sequence is this one. When the boy is just discovering his body, the kid is discovering his body, the boy or the girl, sorry. The kid is discovering his body, it's generally U7. It's purely joy and pleasure. right? And then at under 8, it's me and the ball. Under 10, it's me, the ball, and the other players. So now we're just talking about maybe one-on-one, okay? From one-on-one, we're gonna try to go to the one-with-one. And obviously at under 12, now we're gonna start playing with other players, one or more players. And under 14, obviously we play with a team, the whole team. While in U12, we mainly play with 1, 2, or 3 players at the same time, and then, but under 14 is a complete team. The sequence could be also, okay, in under 8, we are here to develop general motor skills. In under 10, as I said, it's 1 versus 1. We can introduce team fast break, okay? In under 12, it's team game already starting. It's 5 out if you want to organize something. And under 14, team game 5 out or 4 out, 1 in. But under 14, obviously. Mini basketball start at under 8, under 7, under 8, and under 12. Under 14 is not mini basket anymore. Just to, but I just put it here so you understand the sequence. What are the coach goals and objectives? The mini basket objectives are clear, are very simple. 4. First of all, motor training skills. Second goal, make them love the game. Make them love the game. 3, have fun. And last but not that least, fundamentals. Make them understanding the game and work your fundamentals. So you see here, the real basketball skills, it's only 25% of the objective. All the other ones are motor skill training, make them love the game, and have fun. And these are the goals of an objective of mini basket. If we understand this, and we build all our work on this, we're going to be very successful. The greatest goal of mini basketball coach is to create good competitor and winners in basketball, but in life. Winners in basketball and in life, good competitors. Now, what is the mini basketball coach first goal? Ask yourself. I'm not going to run a poll now, but just give you 5 to 10 seconds to think, what is the mini basketball coach first goal? I'm sure some of you are saying, teach them how to shoot. Or someone could say, make sure he's having fun. Yes. Or develop motor skills. Yes. Or could be teaching him good habit, good attitude, sport values. All these are right answers and correct answers. But if I sum up everything, I believe strongly that mini basketball coach first goal is make sure that the player returns to the next practice. If we do right, or we just said before, having fun, make them love the game, etc., and so forth, then the player will come back for the next practices. If there is no fun, if there is a too long explanation, a lack of communication, a wrong communication with kids, all these will make that the kid will want to quit basketball and not come back to your next practices. So first goal, having him return to next practice. Second goal, the second goal is you don't quit basketball. The player does not quit the practice of basketball. It's somehow what we said before, make him love the game. All right, and all this comes from the coach. All right. And lastly, everything else come after this. First goal, make sure he turns next time. I mean, do whatever is necessary, or deemed is necessary, so the player returns next time. and make sure you have made him love the game. And all the rest can come later on top of it. Now, let's talk about something very important because I said in the beginning that one of the goals of the mini basket coach is to increase the number of participants. You know, this pyramid, the base of pyramid needs to be as big as possible. This is also one of the roles of the mini basket coach. So let's look at the pyramid of the mini basketball participants. At under 8, some players begin, some kids begin. Under 20, some people and some players continue. A handful persist in under 12. In just few join under 14, and many give up and quit after under 12, or maybe under 14, because this stage from under 12 to under 14 is not that easy. So many give up and quit. So if the player does not already love the game at under 12, when he joins under 14, obviously there is a new stage, okay? If he's not loving already basketball, there is a big chance that he's gonna quit, all right? So that will happen in reality in so many countries, not only in Africa, but even in South America, in Europe, in Asia. That's a model that will happen in the whole world. So what do we want? We want that many start under 8, that the majority continues at under 12, many join under 14, and everyone stays in basketball. That's our aim, that's our goal, that's the perfect scenario. So in order for this to happen, how much do you think? How much responsibility does the mini basket coach have? Ask yourself. Is it 80%? Is it 50%? Is it 30%? Can we say it is only on the hand of the basketball, the mini basket coach? Or there's another layers and aspects we need to take in consideration. So these are good questions. Let me just add 2 suggestions here. If you want everyone to study in basketball, and I don't know if there are some people with us today as a participant, I don't know if we have some federation leadership people or exco people from federation, but 2 just quick suggestions. It is very important to have a player development path in each federation. So we know that from under 12, he will continue under 14, and then there's a clear path to under 16 until he becomes hopefully a top level player. And if not, he can go do something else. But having this player development path, it is very important to have in each federation. Let me also share quickly with you the France example. They have the JAP model. JAP is a model. I mean, what they are doing in mini basketball is something they call I play, I ref, and I participate. So somehow, starting from mini basketball, they are obviously giving the option for mini basketball player to play, but also to ref, to officiate some games, but also to participate in the organization of the games. So somehow they are already preparing a player, a referee in the future, or if there's some players who don't feel comfortable in one of these, they can also be, some organizer, some team leadership, or exco or something like that. So they are preparing all these players. So this is a very interesting model that France is doing now for more than 20 years, and I think this model gave them a lot of success, and I think it's worth it to think about something similar to develop in each country. So what is the percentage of responsibility does the coach have when players quit mini basket? Who says it 80%? Is it 70%? Ask yourself. I believe that it's a very high number. It could be 80%, if not more. Now, what are the main reasons of quitting the mini basket? Let's see some of them. Could be lack of motivation, and motivation comes from the coach. Could be poor relationship with the coach, lack of communication. That also is the coach's fault. Could be negative perception of its capacity and competitiveness, because maybe a lack of self-confidence. The coach can also help here. Lack of entertainment and fun in practices and competitions. Coach can help a lot here as well. Failure to learn new technical skills. If we don't have the appropriate pedagogy or methodology, some kids will fail in learning new skills. So here again, a big responsibility of the coach. Could be lack of affinity with fellow teammates. They don't get along in the same group. Here again, coach, it's your responsibility. Could be also competition stress and anxiety. Some kids, they love to play during practice, they enjoy the game, they love the game, but when you come to a match, playing versus another team, this competition stress comes and there's an anxiety in place, and the kids really refuse to play. Here again, how do you want to deal with this kid in order to make him stay in basketball and not quit mini basket? There are also two very, could be other reasons, but there are two more that, in my opinion, are very important, and not a lot of people think about them. It's two things. It's the lack of parental support and school academic failure. Sorry, there isn't anything there, academic failure. It is very important. If there is no support of parents, then yes, kids will have a high chance to quit mini basket. School failure. How many parents, again, when the kids is not performing very well academically, are trying to punish their children, saying, okay, you got a bad grade, you are not going to practice this week, or now you are not going to play that game. You know, parents are trying to punish the kid using basketball, using something the kid loves, because he did not perform very well in school. So you're gonna tell me, yes, but these are parent decisions. What can I do as a coach? Am I responsible? I say, yes, you are responsible. At least if you did not talk with the parent, if you did not convince the parent that school is important, but basketball and sport is also important for him. Because if he plays sport, he's going to perform better in school. There are a ton of research proving this. And as a coach, I can take one of these research, talk with the parents, and listen, you want to have your son or your daughter performing in school academically, sport will help. It's very important. We need to convince them that sport is, as an educator, sport is very important for their education. We're going to contribute to their education via mini basket. Mini basketball is very important as having a breakfast or having a lunch or learning English or doing his math. It's the same level of importance. So what is the role of the parent? The active involvement of a parent is very important for the mini basketball coach success. It is very important. Actually, you will not succeed if you don't have the support of the parent. There is a triangle, player, coach, parents, and this triangle needs to remain always in the head of the mini basket coach. It's not only the player, it's the player and the parent. It's not only the parent, it's the parent and the player. It's very important. Gaining parent sympathy and trust is very important for the success of the mini basket coach. So how are we going to get this sympathy and trust? we need, as I said before, convince parents of the importance of mini basket in the educational role of the players. There is no doubt about it, a very important educational role of players. And we need to agree on some kind of informal commitment contract with parents at the beginning of the seasons. That's why I strongly encourage every coach, mini basket, to plan at the beginning of the year a meeting with parents to explain the program, to explain the educational role you're going to be doing with these kids, to explain what you are expecting from parents in order to help the kids grow and to help the development of the kid. It is crucial. But not only having a meeting at the beginning of the year, but having several meetings throughout the season to establish this communication with parents. If parents feel somehow that you are caring about their kids, they will support you. And if they support you, you will be very successful in your job as a mini basket coach. Obviously, parents all have common interests. They want to be the best. They all want the best for their kids. All. So the mini basket coach must be not only welcoming and in direct contact with parents throughout the year, as I said, but also need to understand that for the kids, parents are very important in their perception when they start playing sport. It's very important, especially when they reach this psychological age when they are looking for recognition. They're going to ask, the first people they're going to ask, are they going to come for their universe? And the universe that we saw in the beginning, parents, family. So they're going to go back home and say, hey, no, Dad, I scored 2 baskets today. So if the parent, for instance, oh, yes, great, encourage him, motivate him more, the kids will really, because at that age, parents' opinion is so important for the kid. So yes, but imagine if the parent does not care about this, oh yeah, or even not pay attention, or just dedicate 5 seconds to talk about this. The kid's gonna feel, okay, this is for my parents, this is not important. So am I doing the right thing? What can I do different so I get attention from my parents? Now, so this is very important to understand, not only for you as a coach, but make the parent understand this. And that comes for communication with parents, meeting with parents. So, as I said, we organize regularly some meetings for better communication and orientation. What are the kids' expectations? They just want to play, and mainly for fun. And apart from this, everything else is a constraint for him. They want to play, have fun. Some of them are here also to learn basketball, but having fun at the same time. Everything else, it's just constraint. What are the parents' expectations? Family's expectation, they want to have an organized and secured structure that give confidence when they bring their kids to your academy, to your basketball school, or to your club. They want to see that this is very organized and secure. They want to feel some confidence. They're going to give you and leave their kids with you. So they want to feel that confidence. They're looking for some friendliness or conviviality. They're looking for a coach that they can trust. And obviously, if you are a certified mini basket coach, this trust will be bigger and higher. They're looking for a coach who cares and respects. So these are the family expectations. Now, managing a mini basketball team. Two aspects of management we're going to be talking now. How can we manage a mini basketball team? There is a group management. We're going to manage a group, and we're going to manage the game. So we're going to be talking quickly about these two aspects. First one, my first question is, if you want to improve your game management, do you know how to control your emotions? More than that, what about the emotion of your players? Do you know how to control them? That's very also important. We need to change the paradigm. We need to change the chip, because we need to make the player think that he's not playing against his opponent, but he's playing against basketball. And that's not so easy at all. In every nature of any game, sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. We need opponents to play. We need referees to play basketball. So how do you make the player think that way? It's not very easy. I really tell you, and I'm honest, it's not easy. I still personally did not find the 100% right solution. If you find it, please let me know. We write a book together and we become millionaire. All right. So the important thing is not to win. Winning is not the important thing, but to compete. This needs to be very clear in the mind of every mini basket coach. The important thing is not to win, but to compete. You know, the saying, the most important thing is participation, no longer really makes sense in this society full of comparison, of competition to be the best. So how do we address then this? We need to develop the competitive aspect of the kids and not the competition aspect, so that later he becomes a good competitor. And, you know, as a mini basket coaches, we need to stop training sport competition somehow and start teaching a game of opposition and a game of cooperation. And that starts from what you are doing during practices, with the attitude of the coach in practices. If during practices you organize a game where there's a kind of competition, could be shooting game competition, all right, your attitude during that game will be so important for the kid, for the perception of the kid. If you are really, they can see that you have, for you, the most important thing is the result, is who's going to win. And you just congratulate only the one who wins. And you don't really pay attention for the ones who are actually now in that game lost. You are not praising the effort. You are not praising the desire to do something good, but praising only, you know, only the winners, only the one who scores. This attitude changes everything. It's very important. So your attitude, the way you organize your drills, the way you organize your practices, the way you coach the games. We're going to talk a bit later. We're going to be talking about game management in a couple of minutes. Will be very crucial in this, trying to change the chip and the paradigms of the kid. I mean, that the most important is not to win, but to compete. So the goal at this age of mini basketball is to learn by playing. And obviously, as we said, with the referee, there is no game, and with no opponent, there is no game as well. So why do we insist on this rule of winning or losing a game is not the most important? Because if it's the most important, and that's the most, I mean, the common mistake we've seen in so many different countries with mini basketball, even youth basketball coaches. Because if you don't respect this rule, then you will start coaching kids like adults. And obviously, when you start coaching kids like adults, the first victim are the kids, because this is a very bad approach. And it is very, very counterproductive for the development of basketball. What are what I call unacceptable in mini basket games? It's really unacceptable that a huge gap exists in the score. And Coach Rewatch mentioned it yesterday. There is no sense the score of a mini basketball match or game of 56-4. There's no sense. So huge gaps, it is something that is unacceptable in mini basketball games. So coaches need to find strategies. And Coach Ruas gave some clues and some ideas yesterday. We can stop the game, the score at certain difference. We can play set instead of playing periods, things like that. It's also unacceptable that the educational aspect of the game is put aside. We are educators all the time, not only on practice, but also during games. It's also unacceptable that the kids do not play at all. They don't play. He doesn't play at all. He came to the game, not even a single minute. That's unacceptable. It's also unacceptable that children almost never touch the ball in the game. That beginners start playing 5 versus 5 right away. Coach Ross yesterday mentioned that we may start with 3-on-3 and then 4-on-4, so eventually later comes to 5-on-5, but not 5-on-5 straight away, because some players will end up not getting or touching the ball at all. Also, beginners start playing on the full regular court. Coach Ross yesterday mentioned that we need to adapt the dimension and having smaller court according to the age of under 8, under 10, or under 12. It's also unacceptable that the coach is only making negative comments. Unacceptable that the coach does not respect the decision of referees. And I believe Coach was yesterday talked a bit about that. We need to respect the decision of referees and teach and be a role model for those players. Unacceptable that winning is the only thing that matters. We talk about it. And also that kids are too early specializing in some roles or position. You're tall, you're gonna play, center or power forward. No, at this age, everyone play every position. And also there is not such as there are no bad players. There are players who have already learned and others who are still learning. Remember, we talked about differences at the beginning of this presentation. You could be under 10 and having already 3 years of basketball, but under 10 also and having only a few months of mini basket. So some have already learned and others are still learning. Just simply sometimes because everyone learns in a different way. There are 4 everybody at the same time, the same way. Players playing time. Coach was yesterday mentioned it somehow, that nowadays most of mini basketball competition rules guarantee each player to play specific number of periods, 1 or 2. So we're sure that at least everyone played 1 period or even 2. So all players are important. As a coach, everyone is important. You need, obviously, to play the best players, because the best player you have on the team, everyone recognizes that he's the best player and everyone wants him to play. But you as a coach, you need to know when to replace him when necessary, when to sub him when necessary. You need to be fair. Do not give him a lot of playing time. Use the other players. Just be fair and care about everyone. Timeout during games. It's a good moment to motivate players and to put in a good ambiance and good atmosphere in the game. It's really, really a tool for advice and encouragement. All right? Please avoid end of game timeout when winning with a large score. By large score means that not that there's big gap, that we still have 50 seconds in the game and you win by 12 points, 15 points, and you know at that level that kids cannot play 12 points in 40 seconds. So why are you asking a timeout? Even if your intention is good, don't ask, please. At high level, we already don't do it because of respect of the opponent. But with kids, it's more than this. Maybe you have some kids at from the opponent team who are suffering, who are not controlling their emotion at this moment. So when you do this, you're really not being nice and being fair and to your opponent. Let the game finish, shake hands with the opponent, motivate everyone, and that's it. But do not extend that moment of tough emotion for the opponent team. We're dealing with kids, and we need to think about as an educator and not as a professional coach, or as a high-level professional team coach. And please do not teach during timeout. And this is a common mistake, not only in mini basketball, even at under 16 and even at senior level. We have coaches who teach during timeout. We cannot teach during timeout. We can only motivate and advise. We teach during practice. That's it. So don't introduce new things for kids because, they're not going to understand it. You're just losing your time. Shake hands with opponents and referees. Adopt a positive attitude and encourage parents to do the same. Parents, but also EXCO or leadership club members. They need to, at every end of the game, they need to shake hands. Remember, games are educational experiences for kids. So you need to stay humble in victory as in defeat. The key word here is dignity. And also, you players must shake hands with opponents and referees. We starting from very young age, teaching these kids the right attitude and the right habit. Also, you support your kids and give the kids a little time when whatever game, score game is at the end, give them a little time to experience with the emotion before debriefing the game. Some coaches, when let's say we won the game and the kids are overexcited, very excited, and no, and sometimes they stop them because they say, okay, no, it's not nice for the other team. Yes. Or if we lose a game, then they are very some are crying and quickly the coach get them here and try to motivate them, encourage them, and debrief the game. So help them. What I say is leave them couple minutes or couple seconds. This little time to experience their emotions. They need to start to know how to deal with their emotion, discover their emotion and how to deal with it. So this 30 seconds or 20 seconds you can give them before you decide to, okay, let's now get them and then talk to them and debrief the game and just tell them what are the goals and what is important actually. But before doing this, let them some little time off so they can experience their emotion. That's very, very important for it's also an educational experience, as I said in the beginning. Coach must reward the effort as much as the result. Positive feedback always accelerates learnings. Positive feedback always accelerates learning. So in the end of game debriefing, you need to communicate with the players. we focus on what is important, no matter what the result is. At this age, team victory may not be individual victory for some players. You know, we won, everyone is happy, but you have one player who's just not happy or not faking happy, but deep inside is not happy because maybe his friend did not give him the ball, or he feels like he didn't play enough, or he feels like okay, we won, but I didn't really play very good. So coach need to be alert and aware about all the situation of every single player of his team. All right. So hey, let's say we lost a game. Okay, we lost the game, but hey, we're not going to talk about losing anyway. So hey, Johnny, I like those two nice passes you give to Tony. It's all beautiful passes. Hey, Catherine, you lay up beautiful, like you learn in practice. I like it, very good. Oh, you see, you rebound. That was a great rebound. So you give each player something positive that obviously you saw during the game, and you just tell them you're very proud of them because of what they did. Very important what they did. So what is important is not the score, but what they did is their performance, their individual performance. And also, if we won, then don't forget to talk everyone and tell them at least one or two things they did great in the game. Focus on performance of the players, not of the result. As likewise, a loss can be very counterproductive if the coach does not explain the reason for it and does not encourage and couple his players. That's exactly what we just said right now. Please value effort and sacrifice of every player. So let's quickly go through some thoughts that can help us understand the essential, what is very important. Question: is preparing to win synonymous with lack of result? Ask yourself, preparing to win, is it synonymous with lack of result? I said that we need to separate work and result. Knowing that when you prepare to win, when you have your plan, your structure, your plan, your practices, you write methodology, you write pedagogy, then preparing to win will definitely sometime bring results. All right, but at the beginning, we need to separate the work you put in and the result. Now the question, are success and failure synonymous with winning and losing? And we just talk about it. What is success? If you say and teach the player that success is if we win the game, then we have a problem. But if success is the performance of every player, depending on what we learn during practice, and you won't see this during games, then yes. Then even win or lose in the game, we still have success because we did what we learned during practice. Now, I know how to do proper layups, and I did it during the game. So we generally, anyway, learn much more from our defeats than from our victories. So success and failure is not really synonymous of winning or losing. Is the match a way or an end? Obviously, we talk about it. Competition is the best path for player development. In all youth categories, the match is a mean of evaluation and experience acquisition, not an end. And one game equals 10 practices. And Coach Ross yesterday mentioned it somehow. He said that the more kids play, the more mini basketball team play, the better for them, the better they're going to develop so many different aspects of mini basket, of personal development, things like that. And in general, we all believe that one game equal more or less 10 practices. because in the game, it's a real experience. They are stressed. They are like, it's another environment. And when the kid learns something during the game, it's there. Right? So again, games are very important for the player development. Let's quickly talk about a mini basketball stat sheet. Just an example. Do you think we should use statistic in mini basket? Some people may say yes, they may no. Actually, in some countries they're doing it. All right, just to see is it shooting okay, things like that. Simple. I was thinking about simple statistic, simple stat. But let me share with you an example that I love and I found in a couple of years ago in the Spanish Federation, and I love it, and I want to share this with you. This is a stat sheet of mini basket. Help for a falling teammate to get up, 85%, 6 out of 10. Help an opponent who has fallen to get up, 5 out of 6, 83%. Listen to the coach carefully, 83%. Raise your hand when the referee whistles the foul, 80%. Continue playing quickly, even when you make a mistake, 88%. Encourage a teammate when he has missed an action, 100%. Thank a teammate for helping on defense, 87%. Thank a teammate for a good assist, tap the hand of a teammate when he leaves the court, and greet the opponent and shake hands at the end of the match and congratulate them for their wins if they win. So all these are values, all these are good attitudes, good habits. And when we do a stat sheet like that and we share it with the kids later on, we just tell them, hey, this is what's very important for me as a coach. And if you have the full support of the parent, then even better. If the parent, when the kids comes home after the game, the typical question is, did you win or did you lose? If instead of asking this question, the parents say, okay, how were your stats today? Did you raise your hand when the referee called a foul? How many times? Did you help a teammate for good maybe get up when he falls, or something like that? So then the kids start knowing that the most important is not the actual result; it's the way they perform, the way they learn these sport values. That was an example that I just want to share with you. Group management. I'm going to go that very quick here. Some advices to coaches. Praise players every time they do something good. Reward, as we said, the effort as much as the result. A positive comment accelerates learning. Be positive when you correct mistakes. Always positive. Create an environment that reduces fear, and mainly the fear of trying new skills. Do not forget that mistakes contribute a lot in learning. Stay consistent and do not set goals that are impossible to achieve. Focus players' attention on learning technical skills in a fun way. Whatever you do, you're going to see on Friday, Coach was going to develop or going to talk about defense in mini basketball, and he's going to show us some drills. And you're going to see that all these drills, when kids are learning technical skills, they're all fun. We learn, they learn, we want them to learn in a fun way. Be punctual, orderly, and look after your appearance. You are a coach, and you have to look at a coach. That's very important. Be enthusiastic and lead by example. We already mentioned that before. So what are the main mistakes that mini basketball coach usually do when we see when we travel and see teams and coaches performing and playing and coaching? Ask yourself always this question: do you want to win games, or do you want to prepare a player for the future? Ask yourself, but also ask your team leadership. You know, all right, what do you want? A kid is not a miniature adult. He requires a different approach where fun, respect, and empathy play a very important role. Empathy. You as a coach need to try every time to, try to think or to feel or to imagine what the kid is feeling at that particular moment. Empathy. And if you have inadequate approaches and behaviors, then your job is not going to be very good. You know, at this age, we need to master specific pedagogical and methodological approaches. It is very important. And generally, if a practice has gone wrong, it's often not the fault of the coach, but the player. No, sorry. It's not the fault of the player, but the fault of the coach. It's a mistake here. I'm sorry. It's the opposite. All right. Copy paste is usually a very bad advisor. It is very important to don't skip the learning sequences. We talked about learning sequences before. Don't skip them. If you copy paste professional or adult examples, adult drills, then you start doing something not very productive with your mini basket player. All right, we are certainly quite often influenced by high-level basketball, and we tend to see what adult or professional players doing, and we try to adapt it. No. I mean, really, it's opening the door to a lot of mistakes. We are dealing with kids, children, and not players. They are children, kids, and we need everything to be adapted to them. The approach, Coach was saying today, even the equipment, the ball, the rims, and so forth. So do not imitate, do not copy paste a high level model. In games, I would say motivate and advise. Practice, you teach and correct. Don't give too many instructions during practice time. During practice, all time out. Not too many instructions, because kids will not remember them. It's going to be very complicated. Don't forget that at this age, kids cannot assimilate a lot of instruction at the same time. All right. So my advice would be never give more than one instruction at a time, and never correct one, and always correct one thing at a time. Now, obviously, how to correct and advise, this is a pedagogy. Maybe if in the future we can have another webinar about methodology and pedagogy about mini basketball. But don't forget that there is an individual and a group correction. You need to be constructive. You need to have always positive feedbacks, brief and comprehensive, explanation and instructions. You need to teach and train attitude, but also the soft skills. And here are some examples. You need to teach good habits, which can be punctuality, discipline, politeness, hygiene, hydration, nutrition, appropriate use of clothing. We also need to teach sport values like sportsmanship, teamwork, respect, self-confidence, friendship, responsibility, effort, creativity and initiative, managing emotion, entertainment, and so forth. Those are sport values that we need to teach and stress with the kids. All right? There are different strategies. Maybe in another webinar we can talk about these strategies, but just keep in mind that you need to train and teach this attitude, but also these soft skills. My final recommendation will be to put the kid at the center of all your decisions and all your concerns and you will almost never go wrong. Keep this in your mind, and you will be a very successful mini basket coach. And I'm going to finish with the saying of Professor Maurizio Mondini, an expert mini basketball, Italian guy, Italian coach. We are concerned about what will become a kid tomorrow, and we forget that he's already someone today. So here again, my final recommendation: put the kid at the center of all the decision, and you will almost never go wrong. I was lately talking about one of my friends who happened to be also a mini basket coach, and we were talking about kids, they love to shoot 3-point. So the best scenario is that we don't have in the court, we don't have this 3-point line. But reality is we only use regular traditional basketball court, and there is already a 3-point line there. So kids love to shoot from there. And as a coach, even me, I was for long years saying, just asking kids not to do it, because obviously it's going to destroy their shooting mechanism. They're not going to reach. Sometimes it's dangerous because the ball can fall in another player's head, and so forth. So I was tending always to the no, stop this, shoot from close and so forth. But if you put yourself in the player mind, the player wants to score this basket because it's very challenging for him. It's the basket of his life, maybe, if he scored a 3-point. If he scored a 3-point, he's going to run to you, tell you, coach, I scored a 3-point. You're going to run to his teammate friends, I scored a 3-point. You're going to go tell his dad, his mom, his cousin, his family, I scored a 3-point. He's going to feel like he's, having more self-confidence, starting to love the game only because of that 3-point shot. He's going to be so happy, maybe more of what always going to be doing or he did during practices. So if I think as a kid and all the good things of maybe the shot of his life for him at this moment, then what should I say? Don't shoot 3-point. Maybe not during practices. No, in practice, we have our drills, our activities. But before practice, at the end of practice, they want to shoot. Nowadays, me personally, I close my eyes and I leave them shoot. I close one eye because I want to have the other eyes open because of safety. I want to make sure that not a lot of players are under the basket. So if he does not reach the rim, the ball's not going to end falling in some player's head. But one hand for one eye for safety, and one eye I close it because I want to let him shoot. Imagine if he scored that basket. That player would immediately start falling in love with basketball. So you see, always when you want to think, this is just an example to show you that think as a kid. You need to think as a coach, but also as a kid. That's what is sometimes tricky and difficult. But if you manage to do it, you will be a great mini basket coach. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Coach. Thank you very much, Coach Amri, for this very interesting presentation. And I guess the participants now, they realize how big a responsibility they have to be a mini basketball coach. And I want to add what you said now about 3-point shot. That's why we want the club, the associations, the teams to have small balls, lower basket. So when the kid trying to shoot from 3-point line, they have more chance to score and to enjoy this moment. That's why. Now, please, before we go, we're waiting for questions. If you have any question, please just raise your hand. We can give you the opportunity to ask a question. So we have Vladimir. Vladimir, please, is asking a question. Vladimir, you can get the microphone.
Hello,
Yes,
Coach.
Vladimir.
Hi, Geronimo.
Hello. Thank you, Coach, for this opportunity. Very nice presentation. My question is, when Coach say about the parents punish the kids for not have a good performance in the school, what about the coaches? Because let assume that we coaches have a good relationship with the parents, and the parents come to us and say, hey, my kids is not doing well in the school, so make something to they go well in the school. And if we say to the kids, it's okay if you say to the kids, hey, you're not going well in the school, so if you don't give to the coach good results, I will send you back. I will tell your parents to stay at home, study, to go well in the school. It's okay? Thank you, Coach.
Absolutely. This is, I mean, I cannot more agree with you. You know, when it comes from parents, it's an issue, all right? But if it comes from a coach, he has, believe me, a different perspective. And a lot of coaches who dealt or have years of experience in mini basketball, just saying that, you know, kids at this age will listen more the coach than the parents. So when you talk with parents, I mean, what I do personally is sometimes I anticipate. When I have my regular meetings with parents, sometimes could be, you know, we already a planned meeting with parents, but sometimes not planned meeting. When the parents are coming to pick up their kid at the end of practice, I can engage conversation with them, talk with them, and sometimes what I say is, hey, how is, you know, Johnny doing in school? Is he okay? And then they will say, oh yeah, he's great. Oh, then I will just say, Johnny, hey, I ask you teacher, I ask you parent, you're doing great in school. Give me 5. It's a good job. That's exactly what I want you to do. But if the parent says, well, you know, lately he's not really doing okay, say, don't worry. I'll talk with him. I'll talk with him and I'll make sure he will do more effort academically in school. So then you're going to see the kid and tell him exactly what you say. Okay, oh, I spoke with your parents. You're not doing good in school. No, school is very important. You need to have good grades. And you know what? I want you to get good grades. And I want you to tell me that you're doing better. And if you're not doing better, then I might ask you to not practice 2 times a week or only 1 time, or if you have only 1 time a week, then you're gonna practice every 2 weeks or something like that. But if it's coming from the coach, it has a different and you know, result and very significant impact on kids. And look at the parents. The parents now, they see you as a coach. You are an educator who cares about the kid and help the parents in the development of the kid, not only sport-wise, but also school-wise. So that's when you reach that level of let's say, not only communication, but, you know, collaboration with parents at the top. So yes, I agree with you. Coming from the coach, it's very important.
Thank you very much, Coach Amri, for this answer. Mwape is asking a question, please. Mwape?
Or maybe Mwape can, yes, go ahead,
Yes.
Mwape.
Yes, I can. Hello, Coach?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, good presentation. I learned a lot. My question lies on the aspect of those children who comes into the program very late. They are 12 years old. That's when they are coming into the program. Then you have those one, like you mentioned, those who are 10 years. Maybe they have been 2 years in the program. Those who are 12, and how do you combine the two so that they can work together, looking at the body development aspect? Thank you, Coach.
Yes, yes, and this is the reality. Actually, this is a reality that most of mini basketball teams have this kind of differences. You know, it's not a difference of age; it's difference of years of basketball experience. And in general, as you said, coming to the program under 12, I mean, most of coaches and federation would be happy if in Africa players comes at under 12. They usually come in under 14, under 16, coming too late to basketball. So if they come to mini basket, I mean under 12, a bit late, but it's comparing to the rest, it's excellent. Now, you may have, as you said, a player who just came to your team with under 12 and another one under 10 who has more experience and obviously already developed a lot of skills and how you can deal with them. Well, that's where coach need to learn how to differentiate the practice. There's some games, some activities, some drills they can do together, no problem. But there are some drills and activities you need to separate them because the level will not be the same. So you have a group with already player who already learned the skill, and you have this group performing it this way, and another group then including only this under 12 or this very limited, not limited, it's not the right word, but let's say someone who just came and does not have the experience of the other one. So yes, you put them together and you put an activity on a drill adapted to the level they have right now. So this is just one example, but obviously there are some differences, and you need to differentiate. And having activities that some group can do, activities that everyone can do. The problem is also sometimes happen during the game. Okay, during game, Coach Ross mentioned last time that a group of 5 players, let's say we're under 12, we can play 5 versus 5 or 4 versus 4. So you have a first group of players, 4 people or 5 people, and then the second period, another 4 and 5 people. Now, shall you put the best one together or the more experienced one together and the newcomers together, the beginners? Or shall you mix them? You know, you need to be fair and to come up with the best solution strategy. What I do in my case, I always talk with the other team coach and say, listen, I have in my team, I have 3 beginners. They are 12 years old, but you just start basketball this year. So please, I want to make them play. Shall I put them in the first period or in the second period? Knowing that if I put them, please, I want you also I want them to play versus you, a less experienced player. So at least they're going to enjoy and play. If there is a big difference, then it's not going to be good. We're not going to be good educators. We're not going to be good coaches. So, and usually the other coach already respond very well and we find solutions. But to come back to your question, you will need to differentiate. I hope
Thank you, Coach.
I hope I answered the question.
Thank you very much, Coach. We have exactly 5 minutes. We still have 2 questions. We have Gunda Bahati who's asking. Let's go. Gunda.
Hello.
Yes, Bahati.
Yeah, thank you for your presentation. And my question is about what is ideal a number of players a coach can deal with in one session, considering like our African countries' environment and number of kids participating.
Yeah, yes, and I know the reality. And I know it's not very easy, not only about the number of players, but also sometimes the number of equipment, number of balls. Ideally, every player needs to have, every player will have his own ball, but this is not the reality. But I believe that a group of 15, 16 players is a reasonable number. In under 12, if the players are are already, let's say, have enough experience, years of mini basket, we can go to 18 or maximum of 20. Over than this, more than this, then it's not going to be really mini basket practice. It's going to be entertainment, only entertainment. So here you have, let's say, if you have 30 people or 30 players or 40 players, what you can do is asking help, seeking help, asking some parent to be your assistant, which is completely possible. Parents helping you, 2 parents, 3 parents. Then you can have groups, you can have stations. In some stations, you run some drill that does not requires basketball expertise as a coach. So parents can run that station, and you will stay in a station that requires basketball expertise, and then you run that station. You can also ask some under 16, under 18 players to help you as assistant, and you as a head coach, you monitor and you run this. But if you don't have these people helping you, then it's going to be mainly entertainment. It's going to be very hard to do, a good job as a coach.
Thank you very much, Coach. So again, Manuel Silva, we want to ask question. Manuel Silva.
Go, Manuel.
Yes, thank you, Coach.
Yes.
Yes. Coach, I want to talk about parents.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the parents is very important for movement for mini basketball.
Absolutely.
Can we involve the parents for another activities, for referee, for example, or commissioners for the games or the practice? I have another question. Is it quickly questions? How many practice you think you can do to mini basket players? You 12. How many practice for a week?
Okay.
2 questions. Quick questions, Coach.
Okay. Well, let me ask the second question first. How many practice? I mean, you know, it depends of your reality and your environment. I mean, ideally, 2. I mean, even 3 in some countries, but 2 is a good number. It's a usable number. 2 practices a week. But if it's can only be 1, then 1. But ideally, it's 2 practice, 1 game. If not, one practice, 1 game. If not, 1 practice, and every 2 or 3 weeks, at least some games. So yeah, it depends. I mean, the more practice, the better. The more game, the better. But reality is different, obviously. Then coming back to your first question, yes, parents can help you a lot. As I mentioned, they can be your assistant coach. They can be your referees. They can be your commissioners. They can be the person helping you, providing water, helping you in players transportation when we go and play some games. So yes, we need to involve parents in almost in all activities of mini basket. The more parents we have involved, the more parents we have around, the better will be the ambiance, the better will be the club, the better will be the mini basket, the better the player will enjoy and will have fun.
Thank you very much, Coach Amri. Donc, last question. Nicolas, please. Nicolas is asking a question. Last question.
Yeah, thank you, Coach. That was a great presentation. I'm just wondering whether we can
I think.
Yes.
We have a problem. We have problems with Nicolas. Okay, so we go to Abdullah. Abdullah is want to ask question. Abdullah.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you. Hello. Thank you, Coach Noor, for your presentation. And my question, I want to ask about these emotions. Yeah, people should have these emotions sometimes. And for example, I am a coach, and in a team that I coach, I have my kid in. So, you know, we are human and we have these emotions. So I was asking also if in that kind of team, me as educator, I can work as an educator or a coach, but also as a part of the parents. So it's a bit so emotional when sometimes your kids doesn't perform the way other kids performs, yet the goal is not to win. Yeah, but sometimes you have your things in your head that I need this kid to be in such kind of Juma or Ali or what, but he's not performing that way. So we have that emotion sometimes. So in a team that I coach, can I remain as an educator or remain as a parent for a while my kid is in that team? Or what is an adequate number of this U8, U10 team? Maybe you should have one educator or two educator at one team. I need to know the number. Maybe you might have a big number of kids, but you might be one or two educator, three educator, four educator, and in that part, I can be as a parent per se, not a coach or an educator.
All right.
So sometimes my kid will also play well.
Okay, thank you, Abdullah. Thank you. If I understood well your question, I mean, you are a coach, but also you're a parent at the same time, right? Okay. So yes, emotions. Emotions. You know, the emotions are natural, and kids need to live their emotions. They need to experience their emotions, and so. Everyone going to react differently. I mean, according to his emotions. You as a coach, as an educator, you need to, as I said, let them experience the emotion, but control the emotion somehow. But let them experience it first, and then you guide them as an educator. You guide them and you try to explain them what is important. You know, it's okay to feel sad. It's okay to cry, and actually, kids need to cry. It's a natural process. But you, as a coach, as an educator, you need to explain them that the most important is this. What are very important, what is essential, and you know that's your role as an educator. Now, when you are a parent and a coach at the same time, I must admit it is difficult. It is very difficult. You can ask my friend and colleague, Coach Nafa Wayashi, what I believe he's present with us today. You know, for years he was a coach and a parent of a great player, and it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy, and there is no you know clear and you know miracle solution. But you need to be, I believe, first educator, because as a parent you are educator. So the coach needs to be educator first, and a parent afterwards. Try to be a parent not at home or in your car, but not when there is a lot of teammates around and a lot of parents around, because this will might not be well perceived from everyone. So you are coach and educator first, parent later, and you know, but it's not easy. I believe it's not easy. Now, how many coaches and educators we need to have in every team, or the ratio? If I believe if I understood the question, the ratio, the best ratio would be maybe one coach for I would say 12. Yeah, 12. Then if you have more than this, well, it's okay, as I said, 14, 15, but the ideal ratio will be one for 12 at this age, and then have assistant for every other group. Now, obviously, and under 8, maybe the ideal ratio will be 1 to 8, 1 to 10, 12 for under 10, and I would say 1 to ratio of 1 to 15 or 16 for under 12. That's the best scenario, but the reality is different, as we said. And then obviously you need to find a solution with having parent helping you or other, you know, under 18 or 16 or even other adult players helping you somehow.
Thank you very much, Coach Amri. I know the time is over, but I think we cannot not ask this question because the last question from Joao, he's asking, is it authorized to punish mini basketball players? How to handle with U8, U10, and U12?
Punishment, right?
Yeah, punishment, yes. Is it authorized to punish mini basketball players?
I would punish the coach and not the player.
That's why I want to ask this question. This is Joao who asking this question.
No punishment at this age, you know, only positive comment. Remember what we said before, you know, when practice goes wrong, when an activity goes wrong, it's most of the time coach mistake and it's not player mistake. So you have to rethink in why the kids behave that way, and then try to find solution. So most of the time it's not the player's fault, it's the coach's fault. So at this age, no punishment, only positive feedbacks, and that's it.
Thank you, Coach. Before I give you the last word, I just remind the participants that who are asking for the presentation, there is a link will be sent to all participants. The link, or YouTube link, will be sent to everyone. And Coach Amri, you have the last word.
Oh, I just want to thank all participants for being here, for their strong interest in mini basket. Also, thanks obviously FIBA Africa and all the tech crew who's behind the scene and making all this possible. I will have the pleasure to meet you again on Thursday with Coach Rowa's conferences, and eventually also on Friday with the last conference of the week. Nothing more to say. Thank you for everyone, and see you on Thursday.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Coach Amri. Thank you, FIBA Africa. Bye-bye. See you on Thursday.